Who could forget Chelsea from That's So Raven? The Disney show followed Raven, a teenager with psychic powers, and her friends Chelsea and Eddie. The character of Chelsea was played to perfection by Anneliese who remained Raven's trusted and loyal sidekick throughout the show's run. Landing the role of Chelsea from That's So Raven was a game-changer for Anneliese. She's credited the role as her big break, and it came after many years of training. She revealed to the Global Town Hall that she'd been taking performing arts classes since she was just 6 years old. Vanderpool's journey to landing the role of Chelsea was intense. She told Media Mics that she went to a big casting call and 3 more auditions. She even had her hair dyed for the role, but still didn't land the part until the original actress was fired, paving the way for Vanderpool to take over. She said, "The best part probably was really her innocence and her positivity. My character was so nice and gullible. It was very refreshing to play such an airhead who had such a thirst for life." While Chelsea may have been the role that brought Anneliese fame, it wasn't her only prominent early role. That's So Raven wrapped in 2007, and that same year, she starred in the movie Bratz as mean girl Avery. The character was a major change from the sweet and lovable Chelsea, and the role showed off Vanderpool's dynamic range. Although based off of the popular Bratz doll franchise, the beloved toys didn't translate well on the big screen. The film has a 10% score from critics on Rotten Tomatoes and a 46% audience score as of this video. Unfortunately for the cast and crew, critics largely disliked the film. Ty Burr for the Boston Globe wrote, "I could actually feel my brainstem shrivel up as I watched it."
You don't sound deaf.
Well, you don't look ignorant, but I guess you can't judge a book, right?
Bratz was nominated for several Razzies, as noted by The Intelligencer, including Worst Supporting Actor and Worst Actress. Vanderpool admitted to Media Mics that she wasn't the biggest fan of the Twilight franchise before landing a role in its 2010 comedic spoof, Vampires Suck. The actress revealed that she hadn't even seen a single Twilight film before going in for her first audition. The audition process was a quick one, and Vanderpool, quote, "just didn't have time to see the movies." Vanderpool auditioned for the lead role of Becca, but then was asked to read for the character's friend, Jennifer, who is based on Anna Kendrick's character in the Twilight movies, Jessica. Vanderpool channeled Kendrick's up-in-the-air performance in her audition, quote, "but more over the top." The actress clearly impressed because she landed the Vampires Suck role. She described her character as, quote, "the all-around bitchy girl that is jealous of the lead character." Vanderpool may have landed the role, but it didn't turn her into a big Twilight fan, even though she eventually watched the movies while filming Vampires Suck. She told Media Mics, "Not really into the vampire craze, let alone chick flick-led story like that. Not my thing." Vanderpool may have gotten her big break on That's So Raven, but the Disney Channel show didn't translate to ongoing success on screen for the actress. Vanderpool has only had a small number of film and television roles added to her resume after That's So Raven wrapped. Since the show was one of her earlier roles, that means she only had just a few film and television roles total. Her IMDb profile shows just over 24 roles over the course of her career. Her first credit after That's So Raven was 2008's Hannah Montana, 1 in a Million, in which she reprised the role of Chelsea. She also had a few guest roles on television shows, including The Battery's Down, Shake It Up, and Uncool. Vanderpool has also appeared in the films Extremely Decent and 5 Weddings. She even appeared in a documentary, 2014's Stage Door Divas. Vanderpool once told E! News she maintains a, quote, "nice Jewish household." One of her roles after That's So Raven helped her get in touch with her Jewish heritage, as well as share it with others. The actress starred in 11 episodes of Shalom Sesame from 2010 to 2011. The show was an update of a 1986 show in the style of Sesame Street, geared toward Jewish American children in order to teach them about Jewish culture. Vanderpool told the Associated Press, "I think it's really important to educate children in a fun way and a not too confusing way." Notably, Vanderpool traveled to Israel for the first time to film the show, but she wasn't the only familiar face to appear on the series. Shalom Sesame featured several other well-known performers, like Jake Gyllenhaal, Ben Stiller, Christina Applegate, and Will and Grace star Deborah Messing. While Vanderpool hasn't had a huge number of TV and film roles since That's So Raven wrapped, she hasn't been without work. The actress has been landing plenty of roles, but they have largely been on the stage rather than on the screen. Her credits include the musical Vanities in 2008, which was scheduled for a Broadway run the following year, but, according to Playbill, was postponed due to financial difficulties. Other credits include the Arizona Theater Company's productions of Emma and The Importance of Being Earnest in 2012 and 2013. She also appeared in the Scottsdale Musical Theater Company's staging of Annie in 2018. Theater has always been Vanderpool's first love, and the actress has been acting on stage for a long time. She told the East Valley Tribune, "Nothing is like the live audience aspect. I always feel a bit more challenged, if I'm being perfectly honest, in the theater than I ever do in television." Anneliese Vanderpool's biggest stage role was on Broadway as Belle in Beauty and the Beast. According to Playbill, she played Belle from the beginning of April to the end of July in 2007. It was the perfect way for Vanderpool to move away from That's So Raven after the show wrapped. Belle was a big contrast from her That's So Raven character. While Chelsea is a rather naive character, Belle is a bookworm yearning for adventure. Vanderpool was thrilled to make her Broadway debut in such an iconic role, especially as she landed the lead without having to work her way up from the chorus. The actress told Media Mics that Belle was a dream role for her. She said, "The songs are beautiful, and they wrote some new ones also. It was just amazing. Everyone was so nice. I also loved living in New York." Because many of Anneliese Vanderpool's roles haven't been televised, it would be easy for fans to come to the conclusion that she largely retired from acting. It's an understandable assumption, especially because Vanderpool doesn't seem to be super into social media. While she has the profiles, she doesn't keep them very up to date or share very much beyond the occasional, often work-related, photo or status update. Her Instagram feed features plenty of photos of her with her castmates, while her Twitter account and Facebook page only seem to be updated sporadically. She also maintains a Cameo profile where she boasts 5 stars with over 260 reviews. In a connected world where it seems celebs are always posting selfies on social media and giving us glimpses into their personal lives, it seems like the actress is determined to keep her personal life private, and it's kind of refreshing. In 2017, Anneliese Vanderpool returned to Disney Channel in the That's So Raven spin-off, Raven's Home. She reprised her role as Chelsea, playing her as a divorced woman who moves in with her best friend Raven, who has also gone through a divorce. Vanderpool was excited for the show, and not just because it was an opportunity to reunite with Raven-Symoné. The actress told Bustle that she was excited for the show's empowering feminist message. She said, "I think it is very rare that you see 2 mothers on a show, leading a half-hour sitcom with children, and that's it. You don't have a guy, coming in saving the day with all the funny lines." The material might sound heavier than what fans who grew up with That's So Raven remember, but Vanderpool insisted that the heart of the show remains the same. She told TV Line that their characters hadn't, quote, "changed very much, except that they're adults and mothers." Chelsea and Raven were on-screen best friends in That's So Raven, and in real life, Raven-Symoné and Anneliese Vanderpool are also quite close. The pair are still BFFs, and knowing that their on-screen chemistry wasn't faked in the slightest somehow makes That's So Raven even more delightful. Their friendship was at the heart of both Disney Channel shows That's So Raven and Raven's Home, and it was built upon their mutual respect for each other. Anneliese told Today in 2019 that,
"Raven and I have always really respected each other's talent, and that goes a long way. And if somebody can make you better and you can make them better, you better stick together."
Vanderpool continued to rave about her pal, calling her a, quote, "genius." Their friendship is definitely a two-way street. Raven-Symoné once captioned an Instagram photo of the duo with, quote, "the yin to my yang." Anneliese Vanderpool is one of those actors who doesn't seem to age very much. She was in her early 20s when she starred in That's So Raven, very convincingly portraying a high school student, and making her one of several Disney Channel stars who were older than we realized. By the time she landed her role on Raven's Home, she was already in her 30s. Even though years passed between the two shows, Vanderpool barely looked any older. The That's So Raven star works hard to stay healthy and to maintain her physique. She revealed to the Global Town Hall that she's something of a fitness fanatic and said, "I go to a circuit training gym that involves a weight training and cardiovascular workout. The results are worth it." She also eats a pretty healthy diet, consisting of salmon, chicken, artichokes, whole wheat toast, hard-boiled eggs, cottage cheese. She does indulge on occasion, though, saying she particularly loves Mexican food and margaritas. Anneliese Vanderpool has certainly proven that she has what it takes to be a major star. While she's definitely successful, she isn't quite as well known as her That's So Raven co-star, Raven Simone. Vanderpool doesn't seem bitter about this, but she does hope to branch out and maybe even have her own shot at helming a sitcom someday. In 2017, the performer told Neluda magazine that she would like to see herself. "I see myself leading an adult sitcom with another Broadway show under my belt, or something like that. One can hope. One thing is for sure. No matter what the future holds for Vanderpool and where her career takes her, she loves performing and is going to keep doing it." Anneliese Vanderpool isn't just thriving in her acting career. She's also been helping other young actors learn the ins and outs of show business through Actors Giving Back. Actors from the ages of 7 to 22 are eligible for the program and are coached by professional actors, many of whom, like Vanderpool, are Disney alums. Vanderpool was listed as a celebrity acting coach on the website for Actors Giving Back, which was founded by Wizards of Waverly Place star David DeLuise. Other coaches who starred on Disney included Wizards of Waverly Place actors Bill Cott and Jennifer Stone, Kickin' It star Dylan Riley Snyder, and Bunked actor Nathan Arenas. Check out one of our newest videos right here. Plus, even more list videos about your favorite Disney stars are coming soon. Subscribe to our YouTube channel and hit the bell so you don't miss a single one.